Vice President Kamala Harris has conceded the shortest presidential campaign in American history. Former President Donald Trump won another term in decisive fashion. And tonight, Harris addressed a deeply divided country from her alma mater, Howard University. ABC 7 News anchor Julian Glover is in Washington with Harris's message to her supporters and really, Julian, the country.
Hey there, Alma. You know, this was not the speech that Vice President Kamala Harris wanted to deliver, but it was the one that she had to. It was a relatively short message, only about 11 minutes in total, and it was filled with messages of moving the country forward, of unifying the nation, and her belief in a peaceful transfer of power, a message that her supporters that packed the yard here are holding on to, and a message that the nation needs to hear. Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris walked out to a supportive yet solemn crowd at her alma mater, Howard University, addressing the nation.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for.
In front of a crowd of thousands and to millions of her supporters watching at home, she called for unity and a peaceful transfer of power.
Now I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we accept the results of this election.
Earlier today, Vice President Harris called President-elect Trump to concede the election. The White House also telling ABC News that President Biden called Trump to offer his support.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Her husband, First Gentleman Doug Emhoff, and running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and his wife Gwen were in attendance. The crowd of supporters moved from grief to glimmers of hope, some waving American flags, others capturing a slice of history on their phone, as the vice president challenged everyone listening to get to work.
So to everyone who is watching, do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves.
A message that resonated with the crowd of supporters, lifelong friends, and Howard alumni like Jory Fortson.
She ended with a call for us to also think about how we live our everyday lives. And at the end, she said, "And in truth and service," which is the motto of Howard University. And so as an alumna, it really filled me with a sense of pride.
For longtime friend and supporter Chuck Collins,
I had to wake up and think about what life my grandchildren.
it was a tough pill to swallow.
It's emotionally hard for us to absorb the enormity of this loss, but we can't stop at our grief. We have to move through our grief into action.
As for what's next for Vice President Kamala Harris, ABC News has obtained an email from a senior campaign official to the entire campaign staff saying that Vice President Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, plan to have an all-staff meeting to thank all of the hardworking supporters, the folks that were canvassing all across the country to try and get out to vote, for their hard work in this unprecedentedly short presidential campaign. For now, reporting live here in Washington tonight on Howard University's campus, I'm Julian Glover, ABC 7 News.